history of this country starts from the Neolithic period of time, earliest human settlement. The country is known for its beautiful mountains and its rivers. The country is filled with lush green valleys, and what can you say, it is one of the most favored tourist spots nowadays. This country people are known for their coffee consumption and their meat consumption as well. So who are we talking about? Yes, we are talking about the beautiful country of Bosnia. Bosnia is known for its beauty and its highest literacy rate. So today we are going to explore what makes Bosnia the country it is today. What is the secret of their highest literacy rate? How are the economic ties between Pakistan and Bosnia? And due to our recent Prime Minister visits, what are the future possibilities regarding economics and business of Pakistan with Bosnia? To find all of this, today Fire Communication is here to take interview of His Excellency, the Ambassador of Bosnia, Mr. Nedim Makarevic. So thank you so much for having us, Your Excellency. And today we want to know, something very unique about Bosnia, something that we don't find in books or magazines. So I would really want to, sort of extract all that information from you. But first, we'll start with history, and we would like to know about, the history of your country and how it came into being.
Yeah, so Bosnia is a very old country. Since we can find documents from 10th of century, where Bosnia that time was a Christian country. It's interesting that the form of Christianity in Bosnia was not like in Europe, so we were not Catholics, we were not Orthodox. It's a special direction in the Christianity. The similar thing you could find in south of France. They call themselves Catars, and in Bosnia that was philosophy was that they didn't accept the Pope and Vatican. That's the first thing. Second thing, they didn't had in their religion thoughts Holy Trinity. So they believed in one God, where they very clearly Jesus Christ as not as a Son of God, but as a prophet. They have seen him as a prophet. And all those things are very similar to Islam. So Bosnians as a folk, it's a nation. I believe it's the only nation which took like completely Islam freely somewhere beginning of 15th of century. We are also almost only white Muslim nation in the world. We have also Albanians, but Albanians, they didn't convert completely. They always remained partially Christians. What is also interesting to say is that in Bosnia we had the Turks, first huge empire which came on our land. They came first with the Battle of Kosovo, 1389, and they won that battle against the Serbs and allied Christian forces. And then slowly and gradually they took over the Balkans and later on Hungary. And we converted to Islam beginning of 15th century. Since then we were part of the Ottoman Caliphate till 19th century. In 19th century Habsburg monarchy took over, and then it brought, the whole thing brought lots of changes. They were first, the Bosnians, they didn't accept Austrians because they thought they will be Christianized, they will be oppressed. But Habsburg monarchy was pretty lawful and for that time very modern state which brought progress to Bosnia and Herzegovina. First tram in Europe was in Bosnia and Herzegovina 1884. before Paris and before London, then railway, then streets, tunnels, and then the whole infrastructure. You can find lots of those examples of Habsburg architecture in our capital. And Habsburgs, they remained till First World War, and you know, First World War started in our capital, in Sarajevo, because one Serbian terrorist killed Emperor of Austria and his pregnant wife in 1914. And after the First World War, we had the Kingdom of Yugoslavia with Serb domination. And after Second World War, we had Socialist Republic of Yugoslavia, where all those countries which are now separated, Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia Herzegovina, Serbia, Kosovo, Macedonia, Montenegro, they were together in one state. And we had a socialist regime till 1989, and then with the start of separation, we had a very, very cruel and bad war from April 92 till December 95. Bosnia Herzegovina claimed the independence in 1st of March 92, and here we are.
This is all the, the emperors and everything. Let's go way, way back in history, starting from the Neolithic period. It was interesting for me to find that the earliest human settlements, was like in Bosnia. And how does the government preserve all of that?
We'll try our best. Bosnia is full of mysteries. For example, a few years back, they discovered the ancient people which habited that area. They were Illyrs, and we are also Illyrs. We do speak Bosnian language, which is Slavic language, but genetically we are Illyrs, so we are very close to Albanians. They found, for example, old ships which are like 1000 BC. There is a theory that Troy is also in the south of Bosnia and Herzegovina. And what is pretty much amazing is that they found something very special a few years back in the town north of Sarajevo. The name of town is Visoko. They found pyramids which were covered. We thought those are hills, but as they started digging, they found pyramids which you can find in South America, like in Mexico. And they assumed those pyramids are like 30,000 years old. So that's not a joke. With this, the whole history would need update, a huge one. So that's also what happens in Bosnia and Herzegovina, all kinds of interesting stuff.
Okay, so you were telling us about the music festival. Can you please elaborate on that?
Music as such in Bosnia is very, very important aspect of the life. So Bosnian Muslims, for example, we don't have prohibition of alcohol. We are seeing this thing like follows: who wants to drink, he can drink. Who doesn't want, doesn't want. On the end of the day, you cannot hide anything from God. So otherwise, you will have this hypocrisy. Same thing with the music. Music is important. We have all kinds of music. There is special folk music, which is very much Oriental. There is old music, which we call, as I said, Sevdah. And then we have modern music. We have jazz, rock, all kinds of stuff. And people are, you find music everywhere in Bosnia. All kind of bands, all kind of entertainment in that sense. So there are also lots of festivals, as I said. There are also lots of big names which are coming and performing in our country. Beside that, as I mentioned, film industry. We had the Oscar in year 2000, and lots of big names are making movies in Bosnia, like Angelina Jolie, like Richard Gere, like Woody Harrelson. I don't know. There's been 20 plus movies, Gene Hackman, and then which American movies, which have been done in Bosnia, plus internationally. So we are much into that art.
Tell us a bit about, Bosnian cuisine. What is it typically made of? What's the staple diet?
We don't like chilies and chili food, so I'm suffering big time here. Although Pashto cuisine is much, as for me, much more acceptable. As Punjabi, 120 degrees of chili, where I just had an experience that was, the top in Lahore last week with the ambassador of European Union. We had a conference whole day. We didn't have time to eat because it was too much to do. And in the evening we had a dinner. I told the host, I know it's gonna be everything filled up with chili. No chili. I know it will be. Make at least one dish without chili. Otherwise, ambassador of you and me, we go to McDonald's, and then you will be embarrassed. Do this. And you know what happened? We went there, and first of all, they served dinner like 11:30, short before midnight, which is in all Western, habits no go. You eat 8, 9 p.m. max, and that's it. And then it happened. So 20 dishes, and I don't know what's the point of it, but the host said, okay, no chilies. And you could see, not that they even cooked the chilies, they took it, and make it like, you could see these red things. And I told the ambassador, you cannot eat this. And asked the host, give me one dish, what you have promised. I said, yes, of course. And he brought prawns tempura. And I thought to myself, wow, he really did it. Because how can you, there are no chilies. No? And then a colleague took it, and then he couldn't eat. He said, it's full chili inside. You know what they did? They took the prawn, put all chili around, and then, So I suggested McDonald's. So, no chilies. That's one thing. Second thing, what I do not prefer, but in Bosnia is similar problem, too much oil. Too much oil. It makes you sick, it makes you fat. It's not good. That's something which, because wherever you go, every dish, it floats in oil, Not in Bosnia, in Pakistan. But in Bosnia, yes, depends where you go, It's our cuisine is more direction. We don't use much rice. We use more potato, We don't use much, as I said, no chilies, but we are more into the meat, potatoes. We have special dishes which we call pita. It's like patisserie with the cheese, with the meat, with the spinach. It's very, very huge influence of Oriental cuisine, but also European. So I would say in Bosnia, Italy meets Turkey somewhere in the terms of cuisine. And we have lots of dishes. I noticed also in Pakistan, there are 10 dishes and they are just, circling around. Of course, in the north they are preparing it different as in the south, but on the end of the day, you have like 10 dishes. In our case, we have lots of so-called also dolmas where we fill paprikas or onion, We have also lots of so-called chorbas. It's like a special way of soup. And our sweets are also Oriental, like baklava and yes, lots of nuts, lots of sugar.
Okay, is there any other unique tradition that is, sort of followed in Bosnia?
Marriage. There are, from the old days, the custom is if I told you they all love marriages, but if the family says no, her or his, then it's mostly hers. Then the groom take the lady and they disappear. Simple as it is. And then the family of the girl, they don't have a choice. Either it will be shame or you give legitimacy, and so they do. So it's a custom. That was really a thing before, but now it's more like custom. They take her in the car, everything, and then they want her.
To me.
I told you, love marriages. So family of the girl, everyone who has the girl in Bosnia, he doesn't have a good cards, because if she wants, they don't have a chance. So no such kind of things like honor killings or things like that. Although we are warrior nation, we are in our whole history it's about the war. We have just in our songs, folk songs, we have just two topics: war and love. You cannot find the third topic. There is nothing about weather, food, sport. No, war, love, war. She likes him, but he needs to go to war, but she waits for him. Then he's back, then love is there. Or she loves him, he goes to war. He's shaheed, now she's proud. And this kind of things. However you turn it.
I've heard that, Bosnians are coffee addicts. Is that true?
Yeah. We have special coffee, it's like mocha coffee. It's very strong, and we take it in the morning is a must, because we cannot open our eyes without it, but through the day also,
Now we are going to talk about, a bit more about the economy and the business, because, our Prime Minister visited Bosnia in 2016, and I believe you were part of the delegation as well. So can you briefly explain us, how it was done, and, what were the common causes and the topics that were discussed that day?
First, we are very pleased that we could host him, and it was a long period between that visit and the last visit. In December '93 in Sarajevo, during the war, he was 1 or 2 days in capital. But it is the visit of Pakistani dignitary to Bosnia was in 2007. General Musharraf visited 2007, so almost 10 years, almost a decade. And he was with a big delegation, 3 days, and we already settled mutually agreement. We abolished the visas for diplomatic and official passports mutually. We are about to sign the PTA agreement, preferable trade agreement. We have a special MOU in defense, because our economy was very weak in the last time. In the last 3 years, it increased in defense sector, and there is also military delegation which will visit Bosnia soon in this month about it. Then we arranged the MOUs between universities. There are scholarships for the Bosnian students. There are also 2 Bosnian professors which are teaching here in Islamabad at Islamic University at NAST. And we are about to prepare a business conference which will enlighten the business community of Pakistan to understand what's the chance in Bosnia. And chance in Bosnia for Pakistani people is as follows. So we are candidate to be member of European Union. After being a member of European Union, the laws are very strict. Now, for someone who, so being the post-war country, we don't have any taxes, export taxes, and we don't have any quotas. Means someone who produces whatever, footballs, he can import the goods from Pakistan to Bosnia and then do assembly in Bosnia, label it made in Bosnia, and then he has whole European market for himself, which is a great thing. And that's what I want, you know. Everything what we did is very nice, and it was not in the last 3.5 years. It's very nice and never been there in increasement of bilateral trade or the highest level of delegations. But what I actually want is that Pakistan business community understands that fact, because you know people who are very successful in Pakistan, they are paying tremendous amounts of money to organize for themselves visas and possibility to work. In Bosnia, it is much more cheaper for Pakistani people, and we are in Europe. So the moment we are a member of European Union, they will be there with both feet. That's the idea. And now it's a proper time to do that. Now is the proper time to do that. We have the Sarajevo Business Forum. It's a very important forum. We will have this end of May. So for anyone who's interested, I would suggest him to visit Bosnia and to see it for yourself. What are the chances?
So yeah, because I wanted to ask, like in Pakistan nowadays, we are paying a lot of attention to the SMEs and the entrepreneurs, especially to the women entrepreneurs. So everyone wants to know what are the possibilities, you know, what kind of trade can be done, you know, even if it's like a very small scale level business, you know. So what do you think, what are the things that Pakistanis can bring to Bosnia and Bosnians can bring to Pakistan?
You have your textile, you have your sportwear, you have certain products of the defense industry. You have also great mangoes, which I don't understand why there must be some reason. I never went into it, but the most mangoes what we have in Bosnia 100%, but also in Germany, they are coming from Brazil. And so I tested the both, and I believe the Pakistani mangoes is best in the world. So why the export is not going in that direction, I don't know. Your leather industry is also interesting. Leather jackets, motorcycle equipment. I mean, then all kind of dentists and medical instruments, not mechanical, but instruments like scalpel, like knives, like scissors, things which surgeons are using. Those are the things what you can for sure offer to us, because we are. Let me give you an example of what's happening. You have contracts with Germany, and we are importing the same things from Germany for a triple price. Exactly, I mean, particularly surgeon equipment. So we need to overbridge that.
Okay, so what for now on, what do you think how will the bilateral ties, you know, develop with Pakistan? Do you think things are moving in a very nice space where things should go for both the countries?
We have great bilateral relations. We never had issues. What we need to improve is bilateral trade. That's what we just spoken about. Those things are very important to increase the trade, because we don't, our very good and friendly relation, bilateral relation between two countries is not followed with a appropriate trade level. So it's still very weak. We could do much better.
In the end, I would want to ask that, you've been in Pakistan, so what is your impression so far about Pakistan and Pakistanis?
Well, I have lots of love and affection for my Pakistani friends. Pakistan, as I told so many times, Pakistan, P for Pakistan stays like P for potential. I believe you have two major problems in this country. If you would solve just one of them, you would not be able to recognize this country in positive sense. The first is terrorism, so security aspect, and second is education. If I say the education of masses, of course, of the people in the rural areas. And this is connected together, because if someone in Fatah region has 10, 12 kids, do not have money to send them to the school, of course they will send them to madrasas. And it's very easy to brainwash the kids at that age, and then Pakistan pays heavily priced 20 years after that. And it's like closed circle, So you can try to do the things, and the army is trying to do the things with a power, which is a solution, but
that's not
the proper solution is that everyone has right on appropriate education, not to do a teacher favor for the mark. So proper education, and then the persons cannot be manipulated so easily as without it. That's one thing. Second thing, those are two things. I'm sure if the security of Pakistan would be better, you couldn't open yourself for tourism. You mentioned northern areas. I mean, with appropriate airport, I'm sure that thousands and thousands of the people would visit north of Pakistan, all around the world. You can do it much better, and you have everything. You have from Himalayas to Arabian Sea, the country which is almost 800 square kilometers. You have desert, you have valleys, you have rivers, you have lakes. I'm not talking about natural resources. Natural resources is a special case, but just in terms of tourism. And without security, if you have problem with security, you cannot have tourism. That's the thing. And you have tourism because you don't have bright, adequate education level. So it's a closed circle. That's something where you need to work in, and it's a long shot. It's nothing what you can solve from one day to another. Then I would support all those people who are in the last time. I see nice progression in the art. For example, I see Pakistani film industry is moving, Pakistani music industry is moving, and the government needs to support this. When I say support, I mean not putting any obstacles, and support it financially with the grants, because it opens you up and contribute to the soft image what you really badly need, especially if we speak about Western media.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for having us, and I think that today I'm taking a lot of knowledge about Bosnia from here, and it was delightful having you with us, and thank you so much.
The future of Pakistan and Bosnia bilateral ties look very promising. With so many business opportunities coming in its way, one can say that Bosnia and Pakistan are in a very long run for successful business ventures and economic ties. So let's see how the future progresses for both the countries. This is Palvisha Yaya, correspondent at Fire Communications from the Embassy of Bosnia, signing off.